Welcome to Four Sisters and a Brother, a podcast where faith meets family. We're five siblings on a journey to grow in Christ, walk in His Word, and share the hope we found along the way. Each week, we come together with real conversations, laughter, encouragement, and a love for Jesus that we pray inspires you in your own walk with Him. Whether you're listening on your commute, during your quiet time, or at the kitchen table, we invite you to pull up a chair and join the conversation. This is Four Sisters and a Brother.
So I did a Halloween party. I was bounce house security for a Halloween party on Friday night. It was from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. And I was like, I am usually in the bed around 9:30. This is too much. They weren't kids. These are college kids.
Oh, Lord.
It was rough. And then they had like $5 drinks. So I had to keep them from getting in the bounce house with drinks. Take your shoes off. They were in costume. I had to look for face paint, but it was also like dark. It was like like an indoor turf facility kind of thing. I was just like, this is too much. I feel like Halloween, them young ladies came in with nothing on. I was like, that's not a costume. That's your body.
Oh, when it's naked girl.
What is happening? Like all of them
What are
came
you,
in
little
with like
girl? Naked?
Naked
You,
girl.
little girl? Naked.
I'm flesh tone.
It was crazy. And it was long. And then the next day I helped set up for a bar mitzvah at another place.
Tiffany, how many jobs do you
Oh no,
have?
she's
I
just
mean,
out
I
here.
feel like ever since you moved away, you just got like 9 jobs. You like that man, that woman on Hey Man, on In Living Color. You remember how he be like, you got 9 jobs? He'd be like, thank you. Y'all remember that on In Living
Yes,
Color?
yes.
I mean, because you got the bounce house. Now you're playing security officer. You got the notary republic. You got your regular university job. Like you got 4 jobs.
Hey, you're supposed to,
4 job, man.
you're supposed to have different streams of income.
You got more than me now. Hey.
But them one, like the bounce house / security for the bounce house and helping set up for events. I mean, those are not even like consistent. That's not every weekend. But then so the story I was trying to tell was I was coming home from helping break down the bar mitzvah or clean up, and I'm speeding because I'm tired. So I'm speeding down W.T. Harris,
pulled over.
and all of a sudden, I look over to my right, and there's a cop, and he turns on the lights and comes flying out, and I was like, oh, you know how your whole body be like, oh no. So you slow down, but I don't really take my foot off the brake. So I mean off the gas, so I won't look guilty. But I did have to start braking because the traffic had stopped. And there was so right across coming out of the neighborhood, I don't know if y'all ever noticed, but it's that fire station. The lights blink red and everybody got to stop. And the fire truck was coming out, and I pulled in behind some traffic, and the cop pulled in right behind me. And then it zip on around. I guess he got the same call. Thank you, Jesus.
Oh Lord! Now you remember just last week he was trying to make us all follow the traffic rules.
You sure did.
Look here.
Now here you are praying to
say she
dodge
did
the
it.
police.
She didn't say she was
I didn't get
successful at it.
Right. I said the one thing to be getting you is that speed.
I know. Tell
Well, let's
me
hope
about it.
someone's house didn't burn down.
I hope not. All right. Well, welcome to another episode of Four Sisters and a Brother. I'll be facilitating this episode today. And today's topic was actually brought up by Jocelyn. And she was like, man, someone should do a topic about liars, lying, that lying spirit. Why do people lie? And speaking of, low key, I was really thinking of something to say to this officer if he pulled me over.
Oh my goodness.
And that most likely it would not have been the truth. Hey, we're too old to be lying, Jesus. All right.
Ain't no age
I
on lying.
you
That's
right.
right.
Now, Leah, there is no definition for lying. You telling the
Yes, it
untruth.
is. Yes, it is.
What's the definition then?
I
An
gotta
attempt
find
to
it. I'm gonna find
deceive.
it for you.
An attempt to deceive.
While she's finding the definition,
Okay.
y'all remember when mommy used to be like, or mommy and daddy were like, you can't say you're lying. We told the untruth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Hmm.
why lying was such a bad word, but
It's
it is what it
restricted.
is.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Lying is even in the Bible.
To make an untrue statement with the intent to
Of deceit.
deceive, to
That
Was
create a
it?
false or misleading impression.
Is that
okay.
it?
Okay. I thought she's gonna say
I,
something.
Mhm.
and maybe some. And look, maybe somebody don't know they lying. So thank you for that definition.
An untrue or inaccurate statement that may or may not be believed true by the speaker or writer. Something that misleads or deceives. An assertion of something known or believed by the speaker or writer to be untrue with the intent to deceive.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
exaggeration is a lie.
I think so.
Synonyms:
Oh Lord.
fib, fabricate, prevaricate, fable, fabrication, fairy tale, falsehood, falsity, story. I don't know that word. Untruth or whopper.
Or Whopper.
Yeah, back in the
A
I ain't
day.
been
synonym
told a
for it.
whopper.
Hmm. So, what was your
Okay.
first memory of your first lie?
Eh,
Crying when you didn't
That
eat nothing. I guess that's not a memory. But you be
what's that?
lying. They say you came out the womb. You don't want nothing. You just
True.
want somebody to hold you. Just be crying. Wasn't
I
that wrong?
remember when I was over. Well, there's probably something that happened before then, but this is the only one I can remember. When I was over Nana's, and I don't know about y'all, but Dante always got to stay outside during while we had to take a nap because he was at James and
Mm,
Jonathan. And so one time she let me stay outside because Mark and Heidi had came to visit, from Kentucky, and I was over
Mississippi.
there, Miss whatever, Southern state. Um,
It's Kentucky.
and huh?
Oh,
It was
It was
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Oh,
okay.
so we were in the backyard, and me and Mark, Heidi was just watching, but me and Mark, he was like, we were tossing the little baseball and hitting it with the bat. So I so he was tossing to me first, and I'm not good at all of that, so I kept missing. So he was like, "Let me try." So I tossed him the baseball, and he hit it, but he hit it right back into my stomach, and I was like, "Ugh." And I started crying, and he was like, "Shh, shh, shh, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble." I was like, "I have to go. I have to go. It hurts so bad." And I go right back to Nana's house, and she was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, because I knew she wasn't gonna let me go back outside. I was like, my stomach just hurt. I think it's something I ate. She was like, oh, lay down here. So I ended up taking a nap anyway. But yeah.
I remember
Right.
this is way, way back. I got two lies that I remember. One of them was different Mark when I kicked out his teeth
Mm.
because he kept trying to pull my legs off when I was swinging or hanging on the monkey bars. And I told him, if you touch me one more time, I'm going to kick you in the mouth. And
Mhm.
he came for me, and I reared back and put the heel of my foot straight through his front teeth, and blood just went squirting everywhere. And I jumped down to try to find his teeth in the grass, and I couldn't find him. And he was holding his mouth, and blood was just running between his fingers. And I thought, oh my God. So I ran straight in the house, and I was like, Mommy, I was on the swings, and I was swinging, and I didn't see Mark. And he came up behind me, and I kicked him in the mouth. It was an accident. She was like, Jesus. Then she went outside, and Mark wouldn't even come up to the house anymore because he was scared. So mommy had to go down there and check on him, but that was a total lie because I intentionally kicked that boy in the
Hmm.
I,
mouth.
I
Mm,
remember that because I was there.
Yep, I
mm.
intentionally kicked him in the mouth. I remembered it. I did. But he was
And
terrible
you,
anyway, but still, you shouldn't be kicking him in the mouth.
Well, I do remember one, and I'm sure Leah recapped on this one. So his car was going down the street, and I was like throwing rocks like across the street and all like that on the ground. And the car came over and all like that. And I was trying to throw the rock kind of like under the car while I was going, but the car came up here and I threw them up too high and it hit the side of the car and the car stopped and I was just like, and then they was like, I think we ran into the yard and all like and the car put up in the driveway. And I was like, it was an accident. I didn't mean to do it. And all like that. Lee was like, he meant to do it. He threw it into there. And I was like, oh
Dante
man.
said, I slipped and I
Yeah,
fell
yeah,
back like this,
yeah.
and my foot went like this, and it sprayed up rocks. I was like, no, it didn't.
Yeah.
See, wait, this
And
is
I
a
feel like
prime example of why y'all say I got away with everything. Y'all ran our parents ragged. See,
no.
No,
Other
no,
it
time
was
I was
they
thinking
was
about,
tired. They was tired by the time they got to me.
They was they had a lot of
well,
energy.
whatever.
Hmm.
Jocelyn,
So
you don't remember anything. You just sitting there like, I didn't
I am
tell any
trying to, I'm
lies.
pretty sure I have. I just literally cannot think of
I don't
one.
I don't
Like
remember
right off the
anything.
top of my head.
Okay, can you act out a lie? Like you didn't say nothing, but you led people to believe, like, oh, I don't feel good, just so you can stay home. Like, did you
No.
act out a lie?
I don't recall doing that.
Hmm.
This
Yeah.
is
I
tough
just
because I
remember.
can't think of one, but I know I did it. But I'm pretty sure I have sat back and not said something and knew what happened. And I was like, because I didn't want to either get someone in trouble or maybe myself. I'm pretty sure I sat there and was quiet when I knew something had happened.
I just
Is
can't
that a
think of
lie?
That's
mm,
No, that's not a lie.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily a lie,
Okay.
but I know
it's
that
not.
I
you
don't really
can.
think.
it's deceiving.
I don't know.
No,
I
this is
remember
not
when we
deceiving.
lied. We went around the Dead Man's Hill, and that lady knocked on. Well, when we came back after we was looking all scared, mine was like, "What's wrong with y'all?" We were like, "Nothing."
and
And that
then
lady came and
pull right
knocked
up
on
in
the
the
door
driveway.
and told on us. Y'all kids was over there jumping off that hill, and the one with the pink bike almost got hit. And mine was like, "No, ma'am, they sure didn't." And she closed the door and was like, got a
Yeah.
whooping.
Well, I asked that question because I feel like we pretty much have a good grasp on why, like when you're younger, and you tend to not be truthful, and it's because either you're scared of like the repercussion. Even when you get a little bit older, you're scared about what your friends may think. Um, so you just purposely lie about whatever. And you think about it now, and it just seems like, why did I lie about that? That's so dumb. But we're also older. But why do older people lie? Because now you have where we're looking at documentaries like
Scamanda.
Scamanda, An Unknown Number, where they sensationalize lying. Well, I don't know if it's sensationalized, but they're telling a story that is just really deceptive and people are just engrossed in it. So why do you think older people like our age and older, maybe even younger, lie when they clearly know right from wrong?
To stay out of trouble sometimes, like your speeding ticket, like you was gonna do or thought about doing, or sometimes just to get notarization
Notoriety.
Attention
yeah,
seeking.
attention, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew a person who would do that all the time. Like she's grown, she would do that literally all the time. And every other thing that she said out of her mouth and all like that, I was like, oh my goodness, here's something again. And I don't know why she did it, but that was just part of her life and all like that. So you really didn't never know if it was the truth or not.
Isn't it a syndrome? Isn't it like
Pathological liars.
Mm.
Isn't that but I think lying can be for different reasons though. Sometimes you lie to get out of a speeding ticket, and sometimes people lie to get attention, and some people lie because they don't the truth doesn't make them look good.
Mm.
I mean, if you think about it, if you go to anybody's social media, whatever they got, they gonna post the best pictures they got. Best vacation pictures, wedding pictures, children pictures, everything. Nobody's posting the one when you just rolled out of the bed. Because I want you to see my best self, even if I'm not really this person in real life. And so there's people who live a social media life that's completely different from their own life because they're trying to put a mask on so people won't ever see who they really are or how they really truly feel about themselves. So people
So is
lie
that lying?
for different reasons. I think that's a straight up whopper because I feel like you lying to yourself, which
Oh,
I don't want to
exaggerate.
get too far into what you're going to talk about. But I think that now I don't think there's anything wrong with putting your best pictures on Facebook. I don't want to see you rolling out of bed, but I think some people use that as a cover for my life. So all this stuff is going on that's horrible in my life, but I'm gonna make you think everything's just fine. And I
Is
think
that
that's the deception of it all.
Mm.
is that exaggeration?
See, I don't know if it's exaggeration because I feel like exaggeration is expounding upon something to
So
make it bigger than it is. Is
That
that
wouldn't that wouldn't be that.
I think
see?
it's
But I
a
think it's
type
the
of
intent.
deception,
I mean, I think
right?
exaggeration is that's a type of a deception, but I think exaggerating one thing or another, I feel like it's the intent behind it. Like, what am I trying to get from telling this? And sometimes I just need likes from people. I need thumbs ups. I need hearts. I need those sorts of things from people for like affirmation. Like, I need it because I don't feel like I'm anybody in my regular life. So I got to make one up.
I
Well,
have a
So
I know.
basically,
question.
you say it stems from low
Low
self-esteem.
self esteem. That could be the root of why I lie, you know.
I
I
have a
think
Because
question.
sometimes it can be trauma, not just low self-esteem, but trauma. Things that happen to you that are out of your control. And so people start lying to create, like you said, an alternate universe or an alternate life for themselves so that they don't have to endure what's really happening in their home. I think you see that a lot from kids who lie all the time. Sometimes, if you look at their background or the home that they come from, it's because there's trauma. So they've created an some other kind of reality, and they exist there because that's where they feel safe. That's where they feel comforted. That's where they feel like they can get away from the trouble. So trauma can be a reason why people lie.
Candace, did you
Candace,
have one?
I have a question.
Oh.
So, why you always look like that, Jocelyn?
Because it's like I think you're gonna talk about the thing, but you always ask a question instead. But go ahead.
No, it's not bad. So, say you're trying to surprise someone for a birthday party and you lie. Is that frowned upon? Because Jocelyn talked about intent. So, like, my intent is to deceive you, but a good deception.
Is there
good
such
one.
thing as a good witch?
No.
Mm.
Okay, so that's, to me, that fits in the white lie category. I'm gonna say this little white lie to, I mean, it's the same thing as people who say, "Oh, girl, does this dress look good on me?" Yeah, girl, that dress looks so good, and it looks horrible.
Oh,
The little white lies. I still
But
think
isn't it
that
still
fits in
lying?
deception because you're trying to spare their feelings. Yes, if they ask you, tell them the truth.
I'm not, hey, I'm not
And it's
disagreeing. I'm just saying that's what people be like. That's not really lying, because I'm like not trying to hurt their feelings, or I'm trying to put on this surprise birthday party. Like,
I think the dress thing or the clothes thing and the birthday thing, I feel like that's kind of two different ones because the dressing thing that's for one person, but mm, the
I
birthday thing, I feel like that's different. That just seems different to me.
I
I
think a
mean, I don't.
lie.
I
Go
still think
ahead.
it's a deception, but I mean, I don't. I think that's different. I don't know.
I think a lie is a lie. I think there's other ways that you can like not lie and still throw a surprise birthday
Mm,
party. You remember when we threw, was it Daddy's 60th? And it was at Washington.
Hmm.
And so mommy actually took her Sunday school books to work to say, "Oh, I got to pick these up. I left them at work." Now, me, I'd be like, "Well, why would you take your Sunday school books to work?" But whatever, just so she wouldn't be lying. Like, there's things that you can do. But in
mm,
the end, a lie is a lie. Just like I was thinking about how many times you say, when somebody be like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" "I'm fine," and stuff is not
mm,
fine.
mm.
And you just say, "I'm fine," out of habit or whatever, knowing that all this stuff is going on and you're really not fine.
that's a
You,
common lie.
Tiffany, you know what? I stopped doing that. I sure stopped doing that. If people know at work now and wherever I'm at, then I'm like, "How you doing?" I let them know. I'll be like, "Do you really want to know?" And they look at me. They be like, "All right, man, have a good day." I'm like, "I'm gonna have a good day because I'm proclaiming having a good day, you know." But some people they be like, "How you doing?" I'm like, I'm kind of crappy today, and they be like I'm supposed to say good all the time. So I stopped doing that. I do tell the truth on that now, but I used to didn't though. So.
I have a question. So what about what about, is it Rahab in the Bible when she lied for the spies?
I thought about the same thing, and
Mm.
she made the lineage of Jesus.
What about, what say ye?
And she straight up lied. She was like, they done went out. If you run out of set out the gate, you might be able to catch him. Knowing the whole time they was up in the attic. She was hiding them.
But she wasn't
Well,
saved.
maybe he knows what we're going to do and he just uses
What?
every situation. He just used the situation to benefit them. Like, you know, this woman's gonna lie. So let's just
Saved
use
or
it.
not, lying is lying. And she got kudos from the Lord.
Mm.
I mean,
From the Lord.
All things work together according to his purpose.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, maybe she was forgiven after that,
so is
but it
there a
was still a lie.
difference? Is there a difference between, I feel like we asked this, but a difference between lying and omitting the truth?
That's
Maybe she
deception. I
see,
feel
I
like if you
think
omit the truth, that's deception.
I do too.
maybe her lifestyle, she didn't see that as being a deceiving. Well, never mind. Let me
That's what I'm like. The older
say it
you
out loud.
get, you know right from wrong. So that's why I feel like lying um is so embedded in our culture, and we were basically born liars. When we saw the tension, crying when nothing was wrong, we just wanted to be hit, all that kind of stuff. It's a simple nature and it's so embedded. And that's why I just feel like, actually, Jocelyn, this was a good topic because Joyce Meyer
Mhm.
came to Elevation this morning,
Oh, Joyce.
and she was talking about the little things. I forget what well, the sermon title is in my thing, but she was talking about the little things and how you can do some little thing and it just keeps building and you not realize it. And one thing she talked about is lying. And she was like, lying is when you say you're going to do something, you don't do it. You need to
Mhm.
be a person of your word. And I'm like, yeah. Or like when people be like, girl, I'll pray for you. And they don't. They lying. So my question is, have churches unintentionally made honesty unsafe?
Mm.
You mean like if someone tells the truth, then their business
Mm,
could be everywhere?
mm-hmm.
True. I say yes. Now, y'all know I'm a music person and I like oh, what is his name? Anthony.
Yeah.
You thought I was worth saving. That
Mm.
guy. Anthony. Oh, what is his name? Is it Brown? Anthony Brown. Anyways, his first project that he has a song on there called Group Therapy. And he has a line in there that has always caught my attention. And he says, I want to tell the truth, but when I realize how I'll be treated, I lie. And I was like, wow, like he's writing that out in the song because if you are a church kid and you grew up in some of the systems that we grew up in, you would rather lie than face whatever consequence I would say in some churches, I'm not going to say it in all churches, but in some churches, they've made it unsafe to be honest. And when I say by being unsafe, doesn't mean that the members of the church are going to attack you and kill you or whatever, but the ridicule and the persecution and the treatment after you tell the truth or you confess or whatever is so egregious. I mean, we go back to it all the time. Here, that girl is that's 15 that ended up pregnant. Okay, so she says, "Okay, I've done this thing." Well, and you drag her to the front of the church. I mean, but look at the history of the church period, of the church at large, the Salem witch trials. Even if you had an issue, not saying that anybody was doing witchcraft, but if it was even perceived that you were doing something, they was putting people in stocks and tarring them and feathering them and setting them on fire. And you know what? The church has had a history of that. And so I think that sometimes we've made it unsafe for people to reveal that they struggle. And I think part of that is what we talked about in another episode, saved and being saved, because sometimes it's perceived, okay, I've accepted Jesus into my heart. All my problems should go away. I should never, ever sin again. It goes back to the song we couldn't sing, we fall down, but we get up, because saints don't fall. You supposed to be perfect from now. Be ye holy, for I am holy. Mark the perfect man. We quote all those scriptures. So then if you do have issues, if you do have something that God is trying to work out of you and you're living it out in real time, you can't tell somebody, I'm struggling with this because well, you didn't get saved in the first place, or you need to go back and tarry, or that was their response, and not helping people walk through what they've been through or what they're going through. And like I said, some of this stuff that comes is due to trauma, situations that they endured before they got saved. And it stems from that. And so but you don't give them space to say, I'm still struggling with this. We'll treat a physical ailment better than we always talk about our sin sick soul, but if it's a physical ailment, we're praying for them, we're counseling them, we're asking them, did they go see the doctor? But if I'm struggling with something that's spiritual or I'm battling with something, then you're automatically put in the category of you weren't ever saved to begin with. You probably need to tarry again. God don't act like that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So to answer your question in a roundabout way is, yeah, and in some cases, yes.
I think that's true. Also, I do think that's true. I do feel like in a lot of spaces in the church, we've gotten better at this than it has been in the past. I mean, I don't know that is exactly like, I do know some circles are the same because they feel like they have to be the same forever and ever. We can't, I'm not even going to speak on those, but I feel like the church now today is starting to understand people have struggles, even after salvation, that need either counsel, help, Jesus, and all of the above in order to be truly free. And so I do think we have gotten better. Is it a completely safe place? I don't know. Now, one thing that I do know is that there's something about putting on a mask of faith and putting on a mask of, what's the word? There's certain people who carry themselves in certain ways that you wouldn't think that they struggle. And they don't want to ever, what'd you say?
Confidence.
I don't even know if it's confidence because what they're doing is they're putting on a mask and they want you to think that I'm faithful. I don't struggle in that area. I pray myself through. You know, when I was sad, the Lord lift me up. You know, they don't have a testimony that ever says I had a bad day, you know, and so you think they got it together. Man, they really got it together.
Could
But
they
they
just be
could be,
proclaiming?
well, see, they could be none of those things. But what the church has done is created an environment in which you can be that and no one ever knows the difference.
Mm.
Like you could walk around pretending like you're happy or having all of the things, you know, we have the perfect family, kind of like the social media thing. We have the perfect family, got the perfect marriage. Nobody would think what's going on in your house because we do a good job of putting that mask on.
That's
And we can
true.
Mm.
take it off and put it on and take it off whenever we want. And when we come to church, the mask is on. And to me, that's deception. But
Hmm.
at the same time, I don't know that you always have the place and the space to always be honest with how you're truly feeling and take the mask off in front of a whole bunch of people. Because, like we said before, and a couple episodes ago, there's a lot of immature saints still running around in these streets, and they can't be trusted with information that won't wound up everywhere. And so I feel like what the church needs to do is be able to have counsel for people and have that readily available for people. And it doesn't have to be like, come to the front and get your counseling. I should be able to say, listen, I'm struggling with this or that or the other. Can we be mentored? Can we be talked to behind the scenes? It doesn't always have to be in front of everybody. I don't have to be like this. But you know, can we have a place where we can counsel through our situations and not put on mask every time, you know, I'm entering into the sanctuary?
So what would you suggest? So you so what you saying is if I'm going through something and all like that, would you suggest that counsel would be available all the time? So you can just go in there at that time and all, because if not, that's just still wait until you get a chance, proclaiming, keeping your mask on until you can go to the counseling and all. Okay, would you say people should just walk in and be like, I just feel defeated. Where's the counselor at? I got to talk to him now. I mean, what are they supposed to do and all, or
Well,
they
see, I
just
think it's a demeanor. I'm not necessarily saying that you can't get yourself together, do your hair, and go to church. I'm saying that in spaces and places, especially when we were growing up, you never knew such and such had a problem because that wasn't godly. Like you didn't show that. And so I think that right now, how it should work today is that there should be some sort of structure in place to help people through their problems. You don't have to come to church defeated, but you can at least get some daily help or some weekly help or whatever the case may be in some sort of form of Christian counseling to build yourself up in faith so that what you're proclaiming on the outside matches the inside. And so that it's not mismatched and you're not code switching and lane switching to try to get the approval of people. And that's part of that needs to be counseled out of people too.
Well,
I
see, I
get
think it
what you're
goes.
saying. I was just
Yeah,
gonna say I get what you're saying because I feel like I mean I've been guilty of that. You walk in church and you really just you don't feel
I'm
like
feeling
being
it.
like but you do it because I mean if somebody just walked in like oh like Don Taylor, where the counseling at? Like you can't trust everybody to like express your true feelings to, so you kind of have to put on a mask until you meet with somebody. So I don't know. I don't feel like that would be like deception. I just feel like it could just be like more guarding your heart because you don't know who you can trust in that moment or you're not around people who you can trust in that moment. So you just put on a mask like, okay, I'm fine until I meet with whoever.
But I also feel like you don't have to say I'm fine. Like I feel like I went to church one Sunday, and I don't know. I think it might have been after one incident, and everybody was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No," but I also don't feel like talking about it right now. But just pray for me, and eventually I'll be all right. Like I don't think you have to.
That's fair.
It's all in what you want to do, I feel like. So if you don't want to tell people your business, you don't have to. But you also don't have to lie and say that you're doing fine when you're
When you're
not.
not.
See, I think it's a difference between religious pride. So, like, I have to keep up this appearance, so I cannot look weak. And so, to me, that is not honest. So, yeah, I do agree with that. Like, if you're not feeling it today and you're just feeling some sort of way, be like, look, pray for me. I'm just doing all right. But, I don't think anything wrong with that either.
I think that should be the new norm, is normalizing telling the truth
Mhm.
and people being able to handle the truth. If I say, no, I'm not doing well, and no, I don't want to talk to it, that don't mean you follow me around and say, well, sister, you know, and sister, get it. I just said, no, I'm not okay. Pray for me, and I don't want to talk about it. You need to accept that and walk away.
So,
It
So,
sounds personal.
anyways.
It sounds personal.
so I'm going to read this statement and then ask a question. So, is this true? We lie when we trust our ability to control outcomes more than we trust God. Lying is not just a behavior problem, it's a trust problem. Is this statement true for believers? Let's make that clear.
Read it one more time.
Lying is not just a behavioral problem, it's a trust problem. Trusting that we lie when we trust our ability to control outcomes more than we trust God.
Mm. Mm.
Be asking some stumping questions.
Right.
Um,
Man, I almost wish you would have had
I
that question
think-
ahead of
Read
time.
it
I
one
could've
more
been thinking
time.
about
Read
that.
it one
Yeah,
more
right.
time.
I did
Right.
send you this question.
But read it. I need to
Okay,
hear
okay.
it as
I
well as
didn't.
read it.
We lie when we trust our ability to control outcomes more than we trust God. Lying is not just a behavioral problem, it's a trust problem. Is this statement true?
Can
I
it
think
depend
so.
on the situation?
I think so.
I think it depends. I think it is true for all situations.
Example, please.
For me,
Or
So
just
when
any
you
example.
go and you say I'm fine, it's really I'm not trusting you to tell you that I'm not fine. Is that
Is it not trusting
basically
you or is it not trusting God?
Mm.
Like if I don't trust you, then people can lie all the time. Like, I don't trust this person. They keep this to themselves, so I'm gonna just lie about it. But God, can I trust God in so I'm trying to turn it backwards. Can I trust God
To control the outcome?
to control the outcome but yet still be lying?
this is the way I hear it. Like, I
Mhm.
don't trust God to create the outcome that I want. So when you telling a lie, there's a certain outcome that you want. When I jumped down off that swing and told mommy that I accidentally kicked Mark in the mouth and knocked out his 2 front teeth, what outcome was I trying to achieve? I wanted to control the narrative. I didn't want him to go in and say, your daughter said she was going to kick me on purpose. So I lied so that mommy would have sympathy for me, first of all, and so that would lessen the blow, and it would create a picture that Mark was just aimlessly wandering around, not paying attention. It wouldn't be this aggressive thing. So I had an outcome in my mind that I wanted to happen. So I lied to create that outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like when people lie, no matter if it's a small lie or a larger lie or whatever, there is a certain outcome that you are trying to achieve. So if someone says you're feeling like trash today and you're struggling and they say, how are you doing? And you say, I'm fine. What outcome were you trying to achieve with that? don't get in my business. I don't really like
Mhm.
talking about it, and especially not to you. So I'm going to lie and tell you that I'm fine so you'll go on about your business instead of saying, you know what? I'm not feeling the greatest today. Just pray for me, and God will help me, and walk away and trust that God will touch that person's heart to pray for you, even if it's not right there on the spot, or that they will leave you alone or do whatever it is that they need to do. So when people lie, they're trying to control the outcome. So I don't care if it's a small lie or a big lie. It is a lack of trust, because I don't trust God to work out whatever situation it is. If I, you
Well,
know,
to work it
whatever it
out.
is,
Yeah, to work it out the way you feel like it should
especially
become.
right. And especially if I have a way in my mind that I want it to come out, I'm
Mm,
afraid that maybe he won't work it that way. So
mhm.
you can put on a lie or tell a lie or act out a lie. I think that's the basis of lying, is you're trying to control the future, trying to control outcomes. And I do feel like that's a lack of trust.
Mm. Good answer.
Okay. Okay. I think I just need to be put on the right wavelength there.
Yeah, good answer.
That was a good answer.
What
So it's
about
almost
people
like
that
God,
lie?
go ahead.
I was gonna say, what about people that just lie for no reason? Like, there's not
There's
really an
always
outcome
a
that they're
reason.
looking for.
There's always a
Always a
reason.
reason that someone
Even
lies.
if they don't, if it's okay, so maybe I'm not trying to control the narrative in you, but maybe it's I want you to see me a certain way. So I lie and I tell people, I know what it's funny because somebody mentioned that the Bible talks about how kids come forth speaking lies, and they just lie for no reason. And we went up, we have, I'm a teacher, so kids get out for school or whatnot. And I come back some days on Monday and I'm like, hey, did you have a good weekend? Yeah. Oh, what'd you do? We flew to Europe. What? Yeah, we flew to Europe and we went to just instead of yeah, we went on Saturday and we came back on Sunday. You flew to Europe. Like you got on a plane and you flew to Europe and you're here at school on Monday. What was the reason for telling me that? You wanted me to think that you had an overly fantastic weekend, when I know good doggone well you did not fly nowhere, especially out of this country and back and you was here till 5:30 on Friday. So it wasn't like you flew out on Friday.
maybe,
So
maybe, maybe they went
I
to
mean,
Paris, Illinois.
they say
That's not out
you're
of the country.
whatever. Or sometimes they'll say, yeah, we went to Disney World on Sunday. On Sunday. So you drove down on Sunday and you came back. Yeah, we did it. But what's the outcome? It's the attention. Is I want you to think that I had a really great weekend. And most of the time it comes on the heels of hearing somebody else say, oh, well, I got to go to the fair, or my mom took me to the park. So then it becomes, well, this is what I did.
Let
There's
me try to
always a
outdo
reason
you.
why somebody is lying, whether they want the attention on themselves, whatever it is, there's always a reason. People just don't lie for no reason. There is some underlying reason why they're not telling you the truth.
Look, they could have flew to Europe and to Disney World in their head. They flew there and back
Majority of
I
times
guess.
to
people
go
lie
away.
to give other people the impression of money, because sometimes if you think that I have money, then I deserve more respect. And so I tell you that I went to all these places, I bought all this expensive things, I did this and that, and I didn't do any of those things but I want you, the outcome is I want you to think I got money. Therefore, if I got money, then I should be respected and looked at a different way than just an average person. And that's what some people do.
But you
We
know
watch
what?
American Greed.
But you know what? Those that have money,
Don't do
like
that.
like the P. Diddy case, like the Jeff Epsteins, like the Bill Cosbys, like all those people, to a certain point, they had it all, and they still couldn't be truthful.
No,
Mm.
money doesn't buy truthfulness.
So they had I mean, well, maybe they had to keep this appearance up. Maybe they had to keep their image up. I don't know. Maybe they wanted people to perceive them a certain way. And it's just crazy that it doesn't matter what status in life you are. A liar
Man,
is a liar.
just
Just
lies.
lie. Just lie.
Throw your rock at them.
It's crazy because before we got on today, me, I was scrolling through TikTok, help me, Lord. And I thought about Tiffany and Jocelyn because I was watching this dude I like, Ray Williams. He recaps like crime stories in about 5 minutes. And the story was about a man who worked at Chuck E. Cheese, and a mother was there and she left her debit card on the table. And so he picked it up. And the mother found out that her debit card was missing, looked in her account, saw that money was gone because he done went to the vape store, done all kinds of stuff. So she went to one of the stores and asked them for their security footage so that she could see who was using her card. And she saw the man that she saw in Chuck E. Cheese. So she called the police and asked them to go with her up to the Chuck E. Cheese. So the police go in with her, and there he is. He's passing out tickets to the kids, So he sees the police come in, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm caught." So he goes to the back and puts on the Chucky suit. So he starts greeting all the kids, and he's dancing at the party. So now the police are like, "Do we arrest Chucky or not?" The police decided to take him down. So the content creator showed the video footage. There was a mom saying, "Would you arrest Mickey Mouse? Would you arrest Mickey Mouse?"
If Mickey Mouse stole your debit card, you
Oh
will be
my
arrested
God.
too.
So they escorted Chuck E. Cheese
Why'd
out.
they make him
got him
just take it
outside.
off?
Wait,
Take off
I
the
guess he
suit.
was in the thing. So the manager's running after him. He's like, "I need that suit back. I need that suit back." They was like, "You'll get it in a week." They impounded the Chucky suit.
Hey.
But the funny thing, it's not funny. This man is caught. We're talking about lying, right? So they take him outside and they ask him point blank, "Are you using someone else's credit card?" He was like, "No, I only use Cash App." And they ask him again, "No, I swear I ain't using it." So then they consult, they say a few more words to him. Then he was like, "Well, my cousin lets me use their card sometimes." He was like, "Okay, well, what's your cousin's name? Give me their information so we can verify." He was like, "I don't know." So your cousin whose name you don't know and don't have any information about is letting you use their debit card. And he was like, yeah. And then they were like, "Okay." So then they took the Chucky head off and laid it on top of the police car. So the kids walking out saw Chucky's head in one place and the costume in the other. Oh my gosh, traumatizing the kids. They showed a video of one little boy when they was escorting him out. The little boy was like, "Hi, Chucky." And the mom was like, "Put your hand down. He's a criminal." But this guy got out there, and I think, you're already caught. And I don't understand why you wouldn't just say, "Yeah, I've been using it." So they had to they searched him, and there was the woman's debit card in his pocket. And he was like, "Oh." So they just took him on to jail. But I thought to myself, people can actually be caught too in a lie, and they still will continue to lie, thinking that it's going to get them out. And I had to sit there and laugh at that because that was crazy to me. But I was thinking, boy, we're about to talk about lying tonight. But yeah, Lord help the
First
Chucky.
48 all the time. They have them in that little room, footage, evidence, 10 witnesses, and they're like, "They don't look like me." On the video, you wearing the same shirt in the video as you are right now. And they like, everybody, other people can have this shirt. It's just be like, I did it.
That's your haircut. And that's your car.
Your face is on the camera. You going like this. Everybody's seeing you. Your mama picked you out. You like, she crazy sometimes. Like, it's just.
I got a twin brother.
I got a twin brother. I heard that one before. I had a twin brother.
Now, I do have one more question. This might be for Jocelyn on another one of her things that make you go,
Oh, no.
Series. And maybe you talked about this on that series, but I was thinking about this scripture. It's in 1 Kings 22. This kind of goes with the Rahab thing. Then Micaiah continued,
Yes, it
listen
is.
to what the Lord says. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne with all the armies of heaven around him on his right and his left. And the Lord said, who can I entice Ahab to go into battle against Ramoth Gilead so we can kill him, so he can be killed? And there were many suggestions. And finally, a spirit approached the Lord and said, I can do it. And how will you do this? The Lord asked. And the spirit replied, I will go out and inspire all of Ahab's prophets to speak lies. You will succeed, said the Lord. So go ahead and do it. So you see, the Lord has put a lying spirit in the mouths of all of your prophets for the Lord has pronounced your doom. How do you explain that?
We did talk about this. This came up.
Maybe that'd be a
This came
question
up.
for any viewer we have out there.
This came up and I think we talked about, I think that was when we were talking about the unseen realm and how there are human, and then there's this other realm of family, so to speak, that God had created. And clearly this was from that realm. And this spirit that came up. I don't know whether it was Lucifer himself or some other angelic being or some sort of host that had fallen and was like, hey, I'll do it. I don't know. But we did talk about this. I do remember. I'll have to go back and see what kind of outcome we came with that. But that's interesting.
But I also think that reading that scripture gives us precedent for some people have a lying spirit.
They sure do.
I think we all lie because the Bible says we come forth speaking lies. And I think we've all lied in our time and in our lifetime at some point in time. But there are literally people with it's not a mental illness. It's not trauma. It's not low self-esteem. It's not depression. It's not whatever else. It is a lying spirit that needs to be cast out. And I think that takes discernment versus, people who just lie. Some people, have you ever come across somebody with a lying spirit? And I'm not talking about they just lie, but people with a lying spirit.
Yes.
They just make up stuff. And it's like, that is a spirit.
Them. It doesn't even benefit.
I know it sometimes ain't right. They're not trying to control the outcome. It doesn't benefit them anyway. They just lie.
Yes.
They just
Do you know somebody, Dante?
I do.
I mean, do you know somebody?
I do.
And I think it's important to differentiate that from people who tell a lie versus a liar. And I think it's worth saying, before we get off here, the Bible does talk about all liars will have their part in the lake of fire. So if you lie or got a lying spirit or you are a liar, get some help. We don't want to see you on the other side. We did an episode about hell. Don't nobody want to see that happen to you. Lord, help us. Help us all. Jesus.
All right. Is it worse to lie to yourself or is it worse to lie to others?
To yourself.
I feel like you lie to yourself first before you lie to others.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, because I think lying to yourself is detrimental because you can never get the help you actually need if you're lying to yourself. Like if you clearly have this issue, but I'm a pretend like I don't have this problem. You're lying to yourself and you'll never get the help you need for the issues that you're dealing with.
I wouldn't say never.
I would say never. Because as long as you stay in a place of deception to yourself, you'll never get it. It's almost like you can't fix what you won't acknowledge.
Come on, right. Dr. Phil.
But at the same time, if you know you have a problem or you lying to yourself and all, then when you ask for prayer, hey, can you pray for me because I got an issue that I don't know how to get out of. So then, you can pray about it.
But my thing is, you have to acknowledge that you got the issue first. You can go up there and say, I need help. But if you lie to yourself, self-deception is a big deal. When you walk in self-deception, you don't even know that you need to go up there and ask for help because you think you all right. Because you done told yourself you all right.
That's when God got to intervene for you and all.
Exactly. And it needs to be a spiritual like awakening for you. That's one of the things we talk about even in deliverance ministry, mind binding, mind blinding spirits. Lord, let me see me how you see me, the good and the bad. And it takes God to open up your eyes sometimes to who you are and what you're doing and how you operating. So that has to happen first. Then you can say, I have this issue and I need help. But as long as you don't walk in that kind of victory, then you just go on about your business, lying.
But at the same time, if you didn't know that was an issue, then are you really
Can't
lying
acknowledge
to
what you
yourself?
don't know? Well,
Right.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, that's where it takes the Lord. That's why I
Yeah.
say it takes the Lord.
It's like not being able to see me in the argument. Like if you, everybody's just mean to me. Everybody, but you have this problem with this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, and it's all everyone else's fault.
Mm,
And it's like, but
mm,
you're the only common denominator in all
And
the
all of this.
So
Please,
it's gotta be something in you.
It's
And
you.
it's like, is this person, that person said this and that, and you know what else
You
they
done
said?
fell
It's
out with
you.
everybody.
It's
Everybody
you.
in the entire
Now.
company.
Now I know somebody like that.
Jesus. I mean, you
I
done had it
mean,
out with everybody. And you gonna
help
tell
us, Father.
why do you think it's me? Because you done had it out with
It's
this
you.
person, this person, this person, this person. And the same thing has happened every single time. It is you.
Keep picking on me.
That's why I say it's the most detrimental, because you walk around with this attitude that everybody else
called
got problems and not me. It's like it's
lack
you.
of accountability.
Yes,
That's
a
exactly
lack of
what it is.
accountability,
That's
a
a
lack
good
of
word.
responsibility, all of those things.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I had to get that one out, Tiffany. It was rolling around in my
Okay.
head this whole talk. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I would like to read a scripture before we end.
Don't sound so
Proverbs.
formal.
Proverbs 12:22 says, lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who deal truthfully are his delight. Lying lips, lying thoughts, they're all an abomination to the Lord. Let's be in his delight. Stop that lying. And we'll see you next time on Four Sisters and a Brother.
Just lies. Just
Lie us.